Hey there, White TPC. It's your boy Cosmo Cat Dad Piper. Hope you're having a great day, whenever or wherever you find this. Coming to you from a beautiful Friday evening here in July, early evening, kind of around post dinner time. And thought I'd come out on the deck since the temperature's cooled off a little bit and do another tobacco tasting. Now, with any of my tobacco tastings, this is just what I'm getting as far as taste and aroma and what I feel about it. But if it's something you're interested in, by all means, go at your own risk, do some further research, check out other reviews, check out online reviews, and etc. But today we are doing the Cornell Diehl small batch. This is the 2023 release, 2024. Cornell Diehl Sansepolcro. Now, just to go off the notes here without giving a lot of the pomp and circumstance that they put in their small batch to make it sound extra fancy, we've got Italian cured dark fired Kentuckys, red and bright Virginias. This is just the right amount of Dominican black Cavendish for balance. And so with it being a Dominican black Cavendish, Dominican, I think, cigar leaf. So we got Virginias, you got that dark fired Kentucky. Big fan of dark fired. Let's take a look here. This comes in a kind of a loose flake cut. I'll give you a little look of the inside there. And there's what the flake looks like. And I think usually about 3 of these maybe fits a good sized bowl. Smoked this about half dozen times. Let's do some tin note. I know I missed that on the last review I did. Right away, not even getting close to it, I smell nice Virginia aroma. Kind of like a brown bread Virginia, so slightly sweet but bready, kind of like a pumpernickel without the pepperiness. I'm getting just a hint of like a barbecue, not quite smokiness from the Kentucky. Just a really great smell there. And there's a little bit of almost like a slight, almost floral, perfumey, but not quite. So I think that's the Dominican Black Cavendish. Just a really great smell, kind of a mild to medium smell. Like I said, initially when you pop the tin, you get that nice bready, brown bread Virginia. Just a hint of like that barbecue-y, but nothing like a actual dark fire. But that's kind of the tin note on it. Got it packed already in my Medico. So go to Charlight, True Light. See what we got going on with that. Just putting the tin back together. And see what we got going on. Like I said, I've smoked this about 4 or 5 times. Spoiler alert, I have enjoyed it, but probably want a little more details than that. Charlight was pretty easy. Just off the Charlight, I'm getting a little bit of that kind of like light barbecue meets Virginia. The moisture out of the tin, I would say, is moist but not damp. So it's a nice moisture. It feels fresh, but it rubs out really easy in your hand. Just put it in your hand and kind of ball it up. You got a nice loose flake. And but it's not so moist that it doesn't light easily. So that's just a char light. And just from the initial char light, I would say the room note is pleasant, especially for a pipe smoker. It's not like an aromatic tobacco, but it is a relatively pleasant. It's not something like a lap bomb or something like that, where it may be unappealing to a lot of non-pipe smokers. Again, the light on that's super easy. Probably one of my easier to light tobaccos. Although I think I may have tamped it out. I'll go one more match. As you can see, great smoke. Mouthfeel from the inhale, I'd say it's probably solid medium. Immediately, I'm getting the taste of that, again, kind of like a brown bread from Virginia's, but not overly sweet. I'm getting just a hint of smokiness or barbecue from that dark fried, which I think helps calm the sweetness from the Virginia's and the Cavendish. Again, with it being a Dominican Cavendish, I think the Dominican Black Cavendish does help give just a little bit of something you would find in like a cigar leaf blend. So again, I'm getting a really nice balance between Kentucky and Virginia. Not overly sweet, but not overly smoky. A relatively bold yet delicate, well balanced blend in your mouth. And it might be the combination of the two, but I'm almost getting a little bit of like a... And that might be coming from the bright Virginia's, a little bit of like a grassiness, but maybe a little bit more borderline geranium. See if I can do a retrohale today. Okay. Retrohale, I am getting kind of that dark fired. Getting a little bit of like a floral meets baking spice. Not unpleasant, kind of tickles the nose hairs a little bit. Real pleasant. It's like if you want to go dark fired but not full dark fired. I wish I had better words for it right now because it's a very simple but very complex flavor. Yeah, again, mouthfeel, it says probably light to medium. Not the lightest, but not the heaviest. I would say the taste is medium bold. It's gonna pack a little more punch than a basic Virginia, but not something as big as like a full dark fired or a black Irish twist or something like that, or a Robusto. Not getting a lot of black Cavendish. I think that's probably just mainly used as a way to kind of like bring together the Kentucky and the Virginia. So it's kind of a blender. But this is burning nice and slow. I'm going to keep smoking on it, get down to about the last third bowl, come back and give you some final thoughts, let you know if anything's changing, let you know what I think of it all overall. So hold on for just a few seconds and I'll be right back. And I'm back. I'm on the last third of the bowl. Still burning nice and slow. Probably got a good 15-20 minutes left on this. But I thought I'd come back with some final thoughts because I don't think my impressions of this is going to change. So after that initial light, it stayed lit really easy. The flavors changed a little bit. So some of that bright Virginia, kind of that breadiness that I was getting initially, and some of that kind of slight barbecue, like very slight barbecue that I was getting early on, that's kind of dissipated a little, and instead I think the Dominican Black Cavendish is coming through. I'm getting a little bit more of like a pepperiness or baking spice, so not quite peppery, but a little bit of tingling on the tongue kind of spice or pepperness. Almost to the point where it's like bitter without being bitter. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully that kind of tracks, at least in my mind it does. And it still continues to be a very pleasant smoke. This is, in my opinion, final thoughts, a really great tobacco if you like those bready Virginias and you like those dark fires. Maybe you want a little bit of that dark fired barbecue goodness, but more so Virginia. Fairly complex blend. Again, it's Cornell Diehl Small Batch Sansepolcro. Of course, with it being a small batch, chances are you're not going to be able to get your hands on it at the time of this video. But it may very well come out next year. I believe it was been out for a few years. And this is from looks like January 31st, 24. So this would have been a spring release this year. So it's something to keep an eye out for. It's got enough complexity to make for a really enjoyable, really interesting smoke. But it's going to be really pleasant, really enjoyable. Great if you want to go for something that's kind of bold. But anyways, that's my 2 cents. Like I said, anytime I do a tobacco tasting, this is just what I'm tasting. Just my thoughts on it. Not so much a review. But if it sounds interesting to you, check out tobaccoreviews.com. Check out other people on YouTube or the YTPC who may have tried it. See what they think. And use that and make your own judgment call. But anyways, that's all I really had for today. And glad you could join me. As always, thanks for watching. God bless. And we'll see you soon.